Hello, welcome to the Wiggin Sessions, Surviving and Thriving During the Global Pandemic of 2021. Today we have a special guest, Ronan McMahon from Ireland originally, but he's been globetrotting looking at global real estate deals. Ronan is the editor of Real Estate Trend Alert. And Ronan, I'll give you a chance to describe it because you live it. So you'll be able to describe it much more easily than I do. But effectively, you're traveling around mostly Latin and South America looking for real estate deals, a little bit in Portugal, and in more cost-effective ways of living as an expat, buying land and even getting rental income from properties in less expensive parts of the globe, but very livable. I'll let you describe it a little bit more, but first I want to welcome you. Thanks for joining the Wiggin Sessions.
Thanks for having me, Addison. It's lovely to see you.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, it's pretty much every time we hang out, it's in a basement of a chateau somewhere in rural France. So here we are on Zoom.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are the times.
Yeah, like everyone else these days, right? Yeah, I do remember we were at a publishing conference that we had set up at Chateau Malesherbes in just south of France. South of Paris, and we were on the veranda late at night one night, and we were singing. You were trying to teach us Irish drinking ditties. Is that correct? I think Irish eyes were singing or something.
That is correct. And I believe at the time I thought I was a fabulous singer, and I believe the audience thought so too. But I'm pretty confident that if there was a recording, the proof would be otherwise.
Yeah. Well, I thought you were a pretty good singer at that moment too. Well, thanks again for joining. I'll just give you an opportunity to describe what Real Estate Trend Alert is, and then we can kind of roll into some of the experiences you've had. Obviously, COVID has played an important role over the past year, but let's just remove COVID from the scenario at the moment and just describe what you've been up to for, it's got to be almost 20 years now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I founded Real Estate Trend Alert in 2008. Before that, I was in a kind of a deal finding role for international living. So for the past kind of 17 years now, I've been pretty much full-time on the road in search of international real estate opportunities for profit. So what that means is that now, along with my team, we identify places that are on the up, maybe places where a new coastal highway is opening up a new stretch of beach. We look to get out ahead of the path of progress of major development in emerging markets. And then on the flip side, we also look for distressed opportunities. So for example, the Euro crisis of 2008 and 2009, which manifested itself in one of the biggest real estate buying opportunities in history in the following kind of 3 to 5 years. So basically we spread out around the globe and look for places where there's a certain set of circumstances that are creating opportunity. And the thing is, Addison, when the world is your beat, there's always opportunity happening somewhere. It could be a new resort destination in the Caribbean opening up. It could be a fire sale scenario in Rome. It could be Panama's emergence as a global hub. And then what we do is we drill down to identify the best way to profit from that kind of big macro idea.
So following the Euro crisis, can you give a few examples of things that you find? I imagine you were looking in Greece and Italy, maybe Spain.
Yeah, so very interesting. So we spread out, boots on the ground right across Europe. Obviously, things imploded 2008 and 2009. Then what happened in Europe is the market effectively went no bid. Everything seized up, because what you've got to remember is that there isn't the bankruptcy and foreclosure process in Europe like you guys have in the States. So things take a long, long time. And ultimately, the trigger event for crisis deals to come happened in Ireland. And in 2011, some of the non-Irish banks decided they just wanted to purge their Irish exposure. So they set up these fire sale auctions and they just started dumping real estate. So in 2011, we were able to buy condos in Dublin's IFSC, for example, at 80% off. We were able to buy castles in the countryside for less than the land value. It was just this mother of all fire sales. Meantime, right across the rest of Europe, there was almost no deals, because you mentioned Greece and you mentioned Italy, and both of those had very relatively low levels of debt. They didn't have the same real estate bubble that, say, Ireland and Spain had in the run up to it. So people were largely able to sit on and hold what they had. 3 years on the trot, I went to Greece looking for opportunity. I found none. They took a we're not selling mentality. And then, meantime, the Spain scenario was quite similar to Ireland. They had this massive run up in real estate values. They had a huge amount of excess supply. A lot of developers had these huge volumes of inventory in resort communities and areas like the Costa del Sol that were being delivered around 2008 and 2009. Those were just left unsold, abandoned until 2013. Then the same formula kicked in, 80% off on those deals. So, real estate doesn't have the liquidity that, say, you'll see in financial markets. And in particular, that's the case in a highly kind of bureaucratic area like Europe, where assets first had to be moved from developers' books. From there, they go to a bank's books. Then the banks were sucked into these bad banks in both the case of Ireland and Spain. And then finally, assets just start getting kind of spit out of the bad banks at the tail end. So it was a long process, but it ended in this moment where we could buy it 20% or at 80% off. It was just a phenomenal buying moment. And those prices spiked, I guess it's just the psychology of these distressed markets. By the time these deals started coming out the tail end of this process, the market was strongly recovering. So RETA members who were able to get in saw the prices of the condos they were buying double in 18 months, and they were buying with mortgages. So, add leverage to the equation, and they're, making 4 or 5x times their money in 18 months to 2 years. So it was a fabulous moment.